Welcome back everyone to our video from the weekend where we just went down to Binningup and Buffalo Beach. If you haven't been there before, fantastic place. Binningup connects to Buffalo, which connects to Belvidere Beach. It's just me ready prior to setting off, packed up, ready to go. I'm really liking my tub rack and the rooftop tent, but this is just leaving to head on to the beach. You just saw two of the other members' cars that rocked up. So I think a big thanks to everyone for everyone that came down because it wasn't the best conditions, as you can see, especially a bit later you'll be able to tell. Really overcast, sometimes rain. The wind was incredibly strong. You can tell the surf, just looking at it, how bad that wind was. It was just terrible. If you wanted to try and fish, you wouldn't be able to cast it anywhere at all. So that was out of the question. So it was more about let's have some fun for the day. So this is just zipping past a couple of the member cars and then jumping in the front. So we go for a little bit of a drive on the beach just to explore this whole section. This is my first time down on this beach, so I was keen to check it all out. Now the whole sands the whole section of the beach was really firm. Now it could have to do with the fact that it had rained on Friday, and that does help firm up some of that sand, or whether it's, this is generally what it's like. If that's the case, it's fantastic to drive on. And we're also trying to include new angles and footage for bringing you some variety. And this is just the camera from underneath, watching that rear tyre move as I'm going along the beach. You can see the suspension working overtime there as we're bumping and bouncing along, which I thought was really cool to be able to include that, as well as the fact that you can actually even hear the engine a little bit as we're going along. But I've got another angle of the front, which will be interesting as well. But it's all about trying to bring some variety to our camera videos and stuff for the event. So anyway, we continue down and we find a little inlet like this where it opens up. This is the small area that we originally drive into. It's actually really bad weather at the moment, overcast, it's spitting rain, so the majority of the time we stay in the car. And then there's this little hill here which has a track through it. It's like a U shape, and we all give it a crack at trying to get around. It's me jumping out in front of the camera. We're trying to get around that U-shaped sand dune area. It was a bit of an issue because there was, when you get up there, and you'll see it in the footage from my car, it's really bad with wombat holes all together, so can lose a lot of traction trying. That's Pajero giving it a go. It's fantastic that Will came down and gave it a crack and was happy enough to try these sorts of things. And it's great when you have other vehicles here that you can call on if something happens and you need assistance. There's the Silver Navara and the black, obviously the newer blacker one. They're both giving a crack. So Silver didn't make up that way. Let's see how the black one goes. No, it doesn't look like he made it that far either. I think the silver one goes again, but he tries the route that the black Navara took instead once he comes back in the vision. Or do I go up? Oh no, that's Dave in the Land Cruiser. Dave in the Land Cruiser gives here's a crack. He gets further up, but yeah, he gets stuck around that real bad section of wombat holes. So it's good fun and it's good experience to be able to try these sorts of things and see how you fare. And it also helps build confidence when it comes to off-road and understanding what you need to do in these types of situations, and also the fact that you've got advice from people there that can help you out as far as making it so that you can do those sorts of things, i.e. if you need to drop tyre pressure, which is generally the biggest one for off-roading. So this has been going up that right side, sorry, And you can tell I make it all the way around, but you can, if you see in the footage, just slightly just back from there, and that section around there was really ruddy and big giant rut holes. I had my disc lockers on, so perhaps the rear ones, that is, so perhaps maybe that's the reason why I had a little bit more success, and perhaps also that I wasn't going slow, let's just put it that way. I mean, it is slightly sped up, but it's still half decent. Anyway, so we leave there, and as you can see from the rain on the camera, it was raining, so I thought, why not just keep driving along and explore this whole section beach, because even if we don't get the opportunity to fish here now, we can maybe come back here, as well as checking the entire length out if possible, for future options as to whether it's worth coming back. And in my opinion, I loved the place. I thought it was fantastic with some of the options that you have. Like, look at this. This is one of the next inlets we take, and this is where we spend most of the day. But how much room and open flat ground is available in here, so that there's heaps of room for lots of people. Also heaps of room for everyone to have a bit of forward driving fun. Here's another angle from underneath the suspension. I think this one, just trying to see from the footage so I can tell where I am, but not sure on this one. But it's cool to be able to bring some variety, and you can see all the sand flicking up. I think at one moment actually, absolutely drenches the camera in sand so much so you can't see it. But it's cool to be able to watch the tires do its job, and the suspension working away. Apologies that it is on the angle. I learned an important lesson from this, to face it, so that when it comes to putting it together, you don't have to tilt your head to watch it properly. But it's cool. That's me actually going over the verge. But anyway, but it's cool to be able to see these different sort of visions, and that's what we're hoping to do, bring better quality videos with different angles, a lot of different vision for you to keep you entertained with some of the places we go, and give you an idea of what's there and how difficult it is, and whether it's what we think of it. But as you can see, there's a hill in front of us. Here's all the guys giving an good old crack. There's the hill in front of us. I'm laughing mainly because I'm seeing him going one after the other, and in speed up time. It looks cool. In a moment you're going to see this front suspension working. This front suspension is for when I softer, and I left the first part off for the audio so you can hear how loud my engine is under there. Watch the work of the wheels. It feels like you can see that where all that sand got jammed up and wheels are turned. That's where on one of those occasions I lost momentum and had to reverse back. That's what happened there. I muted the rest of it because it is so loud. That's the second crack I'm going up there. You can see the speed, the amount of work that the suspension's doing, so it's great to be able to watch that angle and get a bit more of an appreciation for what's happening under there and the amount of work that your suspension is actually doing for you to mitigate a lot of all these bumps and stuff. Yeah, you can see, look at all the turning and angles that I'm doing and how much it's digging in the sand and flicking it through. I just like the fact that hopefully you guys like this new style of format, and the fact that we're bringing in more angles. So this is me having a crack at the hill. You see this from outside as well. This is a demonstration of what not to do, which is don't just start from down the bottom, get a little bit more of a run up and take the right line to go up, which is hopefully in line with the actual hill itself. So I go up this way, but instead of following the lines to that left, I go wide right into some really soft stuff. As you can see just there, how much I dug up turning that way. So I back right down the hill and then drive straight up it again. So And that hill was fantastic because at the top there's like a loop. You can turn around, you'll see it in a minute. But you know, what everyone did, give it a crack with the idea of the fact that, you know, you're going to be safe. Yeah, see, you got a nice little U shape at the top here and the ability to turn around and head down, and there's enough room for cars to pass each other and stuff. I actually go to the left here, sorry, right here, to see if I could go over there, and then I realised it dropped off and thought, oh, it's not a bright idea to go down that hill. Instead I head down the normal hill we're on. Now when you're going down any sort of sand dune hills like this, try and go in line with the hill like that where it's straight. If you're on angles or anything like that, it'll slide and you may risk any issues like rolling and so forth. Not so much an issue with this because it's such a short hill, but for bigger dunes and stuff it can become a problem. But so I parked the car here momentarily as the other guys from the group come down, so I could just record the video from this, and then there's going to see some head mount camera footage. Now I do apologise in advance already for this. I mounted this to hopefully give you another perspective of what it's like to four-wheel drive, particularly from some of the footage you've seen, what I've done, and then having to see what happens and what I do inside the car when I'm in this situation and so forth. But unfortunately, I didn't take into account that because the camera's on my forehead, it doesn't actually look down like my eyes do, so I do apologise for that. So the next time I do this type of thing, which I hope you guys like the new format for, where we got lots of different angles and different types of vision, that when I do it, I'll make sure that it's facing in the correct direction so you can see as if you were in the driver's seat, and also observe what's going on and what actions I do. If I, like in this example, this is where I turned and went up the wrong way, that I then reverse back and so forth and so on. But yeah, I just thought it's nice to be able to bring different vision, sort of try and take you guys along for that ride itself, especially if you weren't able to attend. It's great to be able to bring this footage for you guys to see, and bringing a variety of angles and vision, so that it's a little bit more entertaining to watch. So yeah, this is just the footage from me out the window. So next time I'll make sure I don't mess that bit up, but it's always a learning process. Just a couple of pictures of that flat area. You can see how much room you have. This was early on before we started going up and down those dunes, and then just behind us is the ocean. So we're right on the ocean, just behind it really. There's not even that, there's this little bit of a shrubbery there, but it's pretty much open and you come straight onto that area. So we set up the camera back further like this earlier on in the piece, so that it could be filming a lot of what we've been doing here, because obviously the fishing was just not going to happen, but to allow us the opportunity to at least have some fun, explore the area, and also have the opportunity to learn new things, try new things, experience new stuff, all within that blanket of safety in numbers, which is fantastic. Plus you can lean on others for advice and tips and so forth on the situation if something happens, particularly like coming along and making sure tyres are right, because generally that's the majority of where things tend to go wrong, is just haven't gone low enough. But it can also be helpful to get some advice from other four-wheel drivers on how they did it, and also learn a little bit as we go along through the process of trying these sorts of things, whether we get bogged or not. So this is me going up for the first time, so this is actually that footage played back, but from the camera that was watching the entire event. so you can see where I went and the incorrect angle I took, and the fact that I really did not get up the speed I needed to make the ascent. So you can make mistakes, and that's the important thing, that you pick up these mistakes and you learn from them. This time I took the outside line, and that's when I didn't go in close and used the line that had been previously made. I made my own track and then lost momentum and reversed back and went up. So anyway, but it was good fun. I really enjoyed it. And in a second, you'll see the vision where we've just set up the camera now on the ground here, so we can watch all the cars from the event drive over the top, just to give you another angle of vision to observe. I'm actually just watching this without saying much, because I'm looking at it going, hey, that's cool. But it does allow us this opportunity to bring these sorts of vision to you, so that's awesome. And this is me coming back down from the Dune towards the camera and do a bit of a drive-by. This is just, we're pretty much finishing up doing most of what we were doing with the forward driving aspect of stuff. But what we moved on to, because it started to clear up, fortunately. There's no more rain, which was great, because it would have really sucked, because I wanted to cook up some lunch and spend some time relaxing and having a gym wag, seeing as fishing wasn't on the agenda. But it's good to be able to see this sort of the view. I'm just waiting for the next slots to come down. There we go. There's the nice black Navara, and here comes David with his Land Cruiser. He does a super drive-by. Yeah, there he goes, doing this nice drive-by of the old Land Cruiser, so it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. In comparison, I think, to compare this to Whitehills, all that sort of stuff, I'd probably prefer to come here, mostly around, I'd say, these types of big areas and opportunity for full drive if the fishing conditions aren't right. Two, as a fishing location itself, another member rocked up a bit later that told us about a couple of good spots. We weren't actually far from the Buffalo Beach entry, as well as it connects to the Belvidere beach. There's an inlet down there, so they say near the entry to Buffalo is good for Taylor. All along towards the inlet is usually pretty good, and just out where we are usually is pretty good, but just not the right conditions this day. So instead we set up the awning and got out the table so that we could do a bit of a cook up and have some have a feed and have a talk. So that's my and I really wanted to be able to open up the awning in beach conditions, mostly to see how it coped with the excessive amount of wind, because normally when I set it up at home to test it, you don't get the same type and strength of wind in comparison to what you get when you're out at the beach. And as you can see, this all set up, but with the tent open, and the tent was mainly open just so I could show some of the movements there, what the tent was like. And then the kids decided to jump in there for a period of time to muck about. Eventually you'll see me go over and realise that it's flapping around, and I toggle that edge down, which is about, I think now. But you can tell by the amount of movement that's going on how breezy it is. I love the fact that that Canyon tent doesn't make that same sort of normal flapping tent noise regardless of the wind. Once you peg those or toggle the windows and so forth down, it actually is very quiet. And I was really happy that the awning itself held up in this sort of breeze without any issues, which is fantastic to see. It might not be the fancy one Dave's got opened up there that you can see, but at least it provides a bit of shelter and a bit of shade, an area where we can sit down and cook. And thankfully when the rain was gone, we didn't have to worry about the rain, but if there was rain there, at least we can get some sort of cover from that. But I want to say, if I might have said it already, big thanks for everyone that came down to the event. Just a pity it just didn't work out the way we wanted it to, and would have been better if the weather had worked a little bit nicer for us. But instead, we had a fun time. Dave was also very kind enough to help me out. We did some recording of a standard snatch strap recovery that we'll be bringing to you as a separate video on how to do. I deliberately bogged my car, and then how to do it safely and properly, following all the correct methods, and I'll put that one up separately. So, but I just wanted to bring you the vision from the weekends that you guys can have a look, and hopefully encourage you guys to come along to our future events, because they are a lot of fun, and we do like to enjoy ourselves when we get out there, and try and provide lots of opportunities for everyone to get involved in everything. So I want to say thanks again. Thanks to our patron member as well. That sort of stuff helps make this possible. And thanks to all our members. This sort of stuff is only possible because you guys are there. So I hope you like it, and if you do, like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video or the next event. Thank you.